So here's an audio recording of one of the Syrian government officer who executed the doctors in Sueda. Later on, him and his company with the Secret Service guy, this shady figure looking with a cast on his hand and a dark outfit, went on and slaughtered the entire hospital until the Druze defenders were able to come and kill them, or some of them, and take back the hospital. I've done the liberty of going and checking his Facebook account as well to give you the exact person who did that. And let's just say you have a very interesting taste in women as well, on top of just being a radical jihadist ISIS guy working for the government of Syria. If you ever had any doubt that Syria have fallen into the hand of ISIS, this video is going to change your mind. So without further ado, let's just listen to his audio recording talking to another Druze man and explain to him what did they do, why did they do it, and what kind of sinister agenda they're planning for the rest of the minorities, the Christians, the Alawites, the Kurds, the Yazidis, the Druze in Syria, including Israel, by the way, and Benjamin Netanyahu. So stay until the end and listen to this. That's a crazy one.
توثيق بنهار الأحد بتاريخ 10/8/2025 بالساعة 10:30 المساء. بيحكيني هذا الخنزير وهذا رقمه. شوفوا شو بيحكيني على الخاص.
قلت لي طبيب مو هي اول شيء هذا انا قتلته. ثاني شيء انا ما بقتل شخص، تمام، ما بقتل شخص ما عليه دم، اذا بايده دم، تمام ولسه القادم اعظم. اذا بخلي فيكم شارع او بخلي واحد فيكم يوحد الله شو بدك انا جاهز. ايام جاي غمض عينه فتحها بتلاقينا فوقك وحياة اللي خلاك. واذا بنخلي درزه فيكم بسوريا حرام نحن نسمى بني اميه، تمام، درزه ولا قسده ولا علوي. الآتي أعظم سوريا لأن مولايكم، تمام، أخت إسرائيل بتدعي لها. أرض الواقع عنا والمواقع لإلكم، تمام. إذا فيكم زلم صمدوا الأسبوع الجاي بالسويدة، تمام. إذا فيكم زلم ضلوا واقفين على عجريكم بالسويدة بس الأسبوع الجاي بس، مو أكثر. نحكي معك خالد المصري من حمص من حي الخالدي، تمام، قائد لعصابات الحمر، تمام، قائد ل30 عنصر، تمام. يلي فتنا فيكم على نص المشفى وانتم ما انكم حاسين يا خنازير. لسه ما شفتوا شيء. الآتي أعظم. بس خلي مولانا أحمد شرعي يعطينا إشارة بس. ما مسحنا كرامتكم بالشوارع لسه ما بتعرفوا شيء. الأيام جاي. انتم زلمه من شهر صور اللي هذا القصه تبعتكم قتلناه بقلب المشفى، قتلته انا على ايدي طبعا، طقيته براس طرفتين، تمام. اذا كنتم زلم وانت زلمه وطني كثير، شو رشيد حيقل على المجموعه تبعتكم. بس انتم جماعه محاربين، انتم مدفوعكم مصاري من اسرائيل حبيبي. نحن زلم على الارض، نحن زلم على الارض، نحن بنعبد الله، تمام، نعبد الله لا شريك له، تمام. اما انتم يهود حقكم نص فرنك والآتي اعظم. يا دروز يا غنازير. ما أعرف وينك، بوعدك وعد بس أعرف وينك. لا أبعث لك مجموعة صغيرة من 5 عناصر، تمام، يجيبوك بالفرشتات من قلب السويد إذا بتكون بقلب الجبل. بس خليني أعرف وينك أنت يا خنزير. وإذا مفكرين حالكم من مراجلنا، يعني 3 مرات فتنا على سويدا يعطينا أوامر سيادة الرئيس أحمد شرع نعوفكم ونرجع. 3 مرات فتنا اخذنا السويدة منكم، شحطنا فيها شوارعكم، تمام، وما خلينا فيكم شوارع وحرقنا السويدة، وبتقولوا ما طلعنا معكم. لا، طب اطلع لك معنا بالاساس ما بيطلع لكم معنا. لذلك لا تلعبوا علينا، جايكم دور حلو على كيفك، يعني اسبوع واحد اعطينا مهله مو اكثر.
So he's admitting here that they were commanded by al-Jawlani, the leader of Syria, al-Shara, to go and slaughter all the Druze. By the way, the only time they pulled back was when Israel started blowing the living hell out of them, and that's when al-Jawlani basically got scared and pulled them back. It happened, they came attacking, and then Israel shot a missile into his palace. He ran away, told him to pull back. Next time they came again, Israel shot a missile into the Syrian, basically Ministry of Defense, the Pentagon. He ran away, and there were rumors saying that Israel even sent a message through Egypt telling him that if he doesn't stop killing the Druze, Israel will take down his entire regime in several days. That scared the living hell out of him, and he started pulling his guys back again and again, which shows us that in the Middle East, diplomacy by strength, peace is achieved by strength, not by weakness, not by negotiation, but for some reason, Western media keep falling for that. Your leaders keep falling for this guy. Now let's listen some more.
على أرضكم لا انتم خايفين انه نحن نفوت عشان لك نحكمكم، خايفين من حكم السنه، وراح يحكمكم وبصوا ما يخاوى عنكم وعن اسرائيل وعن امريكا وعلى مين بدي لك على الصين كمان. ترى رحنا الشعب السوري يا وال، نحن الشعب السوري احنا احفاد بني اميه يا وال. اذا فكري حاكم مراجع بني معروف والهجري والحناوي ومين بدي الطفل الرضيع فيكم. لا تفكروا حالكم مراجل، بس تحمدوا الله في احمد الشرع، تحمدوا الله. لو ما في احمد الشرع يا محمد العربي شو رح نستخرجكم الصرخ. تحمدوا الله في عنا رئيس عم تسكتنا ماسكنا. يلا هانت عضت كوساي اسبوع مو اكثر، تذكر هاي الكلمه، اسبوع ما اكثر. ما شحطنا زلمكم بقلب السويدة شحطها بالمكبات تبعي.
See, he's actually admitting that the whole idea of the Muslims in Syria is to establish the Sharia law over Syria, the Sunnah Salafi Sharia law. And the only ones that are standing tall right now and not bending a knee to Sharia law are the Druze. And that's why a lot of the Christians and other minorities are fleeing to seek protection under the Druze, because they're still fighting. The Christians don't have any weapons anymore and they can't fight. Every month they blow up one of their churches, keep stealing their daughters. They're very afraid of even speaking out. That's why you barely hear any of their voices. But the Druze are still standing tall. And the Kurds, but the Kurds have their own military and their army is actually stronger than the army of al-Jawlani. The Kurds are Muslims, but the Kurds are secular Muslims. Their identity is not Sunnah or Shia. They have Sunnah and Shia, they're living in peace because they don't see that as their main identity. Their identity is that we are Kurds. We are Kurdish, we are proud of our heritage, and that's a different story. But the people in Syria, these radical jihadists, they're extreme Salafi Muslims. By the way, this is the majority of the Arabs in Syria. Don't be fooled. They keep telling you that they've sent their garbage into Europe. So just imagine that guy and his friends. They're not the garbage. Someone is more garbage than them, and he's actually living right now in Europe, walking in these pro-Palestine, pro-Jawlani, pro-Syria demonstrations, going around boasting what they want to do to the Druze with scissors, what they want to do to the Christian women, and etc. Let that sink in. How can you sleep at night knowing that these kind of people have infiltrated Europe and right now are living on social welfare, on your own tax-paying money in Syria? Crazy. Well, you know what? I really hope they come and try to say hi to Netanyahu. It's going to end up very bad for them. But this guy and his men are undoubtedly ISIS and Al-Qaeda. They're wearing the Syrian army uniform. They're police officers, part of the army, but each one of them is having a patch of Al-Qaeda, of ISIS, walking around proud of it. No one is telling them to take it down. They're not afraid or ashamed of it. As a former officer in the IDF, I can tell you that when you are part of the army, you're representing your country. You're not even allowed to have a patch of another country, let alone a terrorist organization or an enemy country. But in this case, what do you expect? ISIS and Al-Qaeda took over the government with a former ISIS and Al-Qaeda terrorist. I don't know if let's stop calling him former. He's still an active ISIS and Al-Qaeda terrorist that took over that government and just tried to change his image, rebrand himself by putting a blazer and looking like a hipster with his new beard. Now the real question is, why is your leader falling and covering for him and running a PR agency for him? Another question is, why is social media, mainstream media, is completely complicit and even supporting him? Well, about mainstream media, it's obvious that they have been bought by the enemy. They're not your friends anymore. They're working for the enemy of the West. Otherwise, how can you explain that when Hamas tells them that Israel went and slaughtered doctors in a hospital, they all run singing all around the world? They don't even care to do fact-checking. They take their information as a reliable source of information from ISIS and from Hamas. But when we have official video showing ISIS members wearing Syrian government uniform, going around and shooting a doctor in his head, executing an entire hospital, I mean, the images are horrific. I've seen that video, and trust me, I've seen some very, very horrific videos. That's probably one of the most horrific videos that I've seen, with tens, if not even more than 100 bodies piled out in the hospital. Women in the delivery room, just when they gave birth, the happiest moment for that woman when she gave life to a new baby, was killed in the bed with her baby. They went around killing everyone they can in the hospital until the Druze fighters, with the help of the Israeli Air Force, were able to come and take the tank that was parked outside the hospital and take many of these terrorists. so they can stop this slaughter. But what a crazy reality we're living in. And the real question is, why is mainstream media trying to cover for them? Well, we kind of know. Mainstream media has been bought by a lot of Arab money. Now, the other question is, why is America and Europe falling for that? Well, I think I have an answer. And it's two different answers. When it comes to America, the reason that they're turning a blind eye is let's call for what it is. Arab money. It's amazing what $100 billion in a private jet to your president can make American policy change and turn a blind eye for the massacre of Christians in the Middle East. Very disturbing. It seems like America is starting to wake up now and realize, oh my God, what have we done? We trusted the Sunnah, the Saudi Arabia, to tell us, listen guys, we know how to deal with this. Trust us. Don't trust Israelis. Don't listen to them. They're the bad guys. We'll tell you how we want the Middle East to look like. Spoiler alert, they want the Middle East to be free out of any minority that is not Muslim and is not a Sunnah. That's about it. When it comes to Europe, their strategy is very sinister. They're basically telling Europe, listen, we'll take care of Jawlani. He's our boy. He will take care of Syria. Let's rebrand him, make him look like a decent leader. And Syria is just trying to rebuild itself. And then you'll be able to send your migrants back to Syria, because Europe is getting fed up with Syrian migrants driving cars into Christmas markets and going and stabbing people in the streets and killing their children, babies included, raping their women, and etc. and they're just waiting for the chance to send them. But Europe, oh Europe, oh Europe, every time you're handed the key, the solution to a problem, you manage to mess it up. I'm living in a city right now where there's a Yazidi girl, a Yazidi woman that is about to be deported from Germany and sent back to Syria because Syria is right now under control with the good guys. A Yazidi, a woman. I mean, how crazy can this government be? Why not send all the pro-Bashar, sorry, not Bashar al-Assad, all the pro-al-Shara, all the people that are pro-Syria right now, waving the flags of Syria, going around with posters of an ISIS terrorist and scissors saying that they're gonna go and slaughter the Druze in Germany and shave their beards as a sign of humiliation, just like the Nazis did to the Jews. Why don't you go and send them? A tip, go to the pro-Palestine demonstration. Most likely anyone there you don't want in your country. Go to the pro-Syrian regime demonstrations. Most likely anyone there you don't want in their country. They're living on your expenses. And let me tell you another secret. Muslims are not a minority. There's about 2 billion of them around the world. They're not a minority. They're living on free welfare in your countries, and they're taking your women, they're taking your children, and they're just bringing terrorism and intifada revolution to your streets. The Druze are a minority. The Jews are a minority. The Yazidis are a minority. The Kurds are a minority. The free people of Iran are a minority. The Coptics, the Armenians, these are minorities. And even more, they're not trying to convert anyone. When they come to your country, they usually get good jobs. They pay taxes. They integrate into your society. They're not trying to change the way of your life. They just want to be living here peacefully. So start bringing these people, save them, keep them here, and send all the radical Muslims back to where they belong. That's a good tip. How about you do that? But just this crazy reality where we're seeing Western media and Western government falling again and again to the same trap. I mean, Macron is practically a Muslim brotherhood. He's working for the jihadists. They probably bought him. Shame on him. He was seen shaking hands and hugging al-Shara, an ISIS terrorist with blood on his hand who raped women, beheaded people, killed children. He's going around hugging him. Meanwhile, he's calling to give Palestine a state as a reward for October 7th. That's the kind of leaders we're having in the West right now. That's the kind of leaders that are right now leading your countries. And if we don't wake up as citizens of the West, we're going to lose the West as well. Because what you've seen here happening is going to happen in Europe. Don't be fooled. It's going to happen in 10 years, 5 years, maybe even less, maybe 20 years. But one day, Europe, the West, will not be the West that you know, because they will have these agents trying to enforce Sharia law, kill and convert anyone they can. So thanks for sticking around. And like I always say, don't do anything stupid. In general, just don't support radical terrorists. They're not doing a good thing. They're not good people. Try to protect the minorities. The best way to see if a country is a good country or a bad country is how are they treating minorities. And Christians, Druze, Alawites, Yazidis, Kurds, Copt. These are the real minorities in the Middle East, guys. And I tell you what, and I really hope that I'm wrong, but in about 25 years to 50 years, there won't be any minorities left in the Middle East because Islam is exterminating them. The only place that you'll have minorities is Israel, where the Jews are protecting minorities. That's the only place. So wake up before it's late. You're being played, you're being fooled. Your tax-paying money is going to support the wrong players. The wrong players. See you next time.